Okay, I've put the gasket on there. I thought, oh no use you watching me do that. Now this little weight, the little mushroom, I keep getting a little bit of black out of the end of that cam, and I washed and washed and washed that. So, but look, on this little governor mushroom, I polished that up with a bit of emery tape. Took me a minute, and it's fitting fine. We just pop a bit of oil on there, and now that has to sit in there and just move out like that. You know, you can see there's no effort in that, and one of these weights, you know, the weights throw out a little bit. It has to be nice and free like that. So ensure that it's like that, or it won't work. So at this stage, we poke him in as far as we can, and see just the weight of this little weight brings him out. That's fine. That's just lovely. Okay, I've put the key in here. Now, before we put the timing cover on, we have to put this plate on, and this plate, it's just a slinger, so if any oil comes around, it takes it away from the timing cover seal. Oh, sorry. And where it sits inside the timing cover here, it sits like that, so if any oil comes up to the seal, it just flings it away. So I've put the brass shims on as well, the remainder of the shims. So if we put that on, now when we did the video on servicing the timing cover, I might just come out a little bit for you. I put the front pulley in, the timing cover, just to make it easier, you know, for the leather to take shape and give it a chance to conform to what it wants to do. So we need to do that. And there's another little job I see I haven't done here, and I haven't put a wire around that screw to stop it coming undone. So I'll go and do that while it's on my mind right now, and I'll come back. Okay, I've looked up at the camera. I've just realised I've been recording the last couple of sections on a different setting on the camera, so that looked all right in the screen, so let's hope it's all right. I'm not bloody doing it again. Okay, we've got this, we've just covered that. We've got this fella on here. I've put the tie wire in on the timing cover, so the timing cover is ready to go on. I might just leave the pulley on there and just line it up with the bottom here. So if that goes there, we've got to lift this fella out of the way so it goes in behind. This mightn't be a good idea yet, I just thought I'd give it a go. If the pulley sits right down the bottom, I think we're good. Now, where's that socket I had before? That's going on nicely. Now, how do we know that key's in the right spot? Okay, we should be able to stick the verniers down and feel it. Yep, there it is. Okay, so we know the key's still in place. Now we have the lock tab, and there was a shim under here. I'm not sure why they would have that shim. I can't quite understand why, but anyway. So we'll put the lock tab so the little tag there sits down in the keyway and stops it from turning. Oh, I think there might be a problem doing this. I think these bolts coming through are going to be too long. So I might put a bolt or two on and I might have to pull that out. That's a good idea gone really bad, Lance. That can't have been much of a good idea at all. Yeah, I won't have access to those bottom. What did I do with that bar? So that's okay. All right, I've got a pot of bolts here. Now we're back there, the key's still sitting where it should be. I'll run around and we'll fit all the bolts and spring washers and all that sort of thing. And then it'll be interesting to see how much movement we have here and see if backing this little screw out here will make much of a difference. So I'll bolt all this on off camera and I'll come back. Well, there you go. I've got all the timing cover bolted up. I've put new spring washers under everything. I didn't like the old ones. They were just a bit up the shit, really. Apart from that, they were all right, yeah. Now the front pulley here, I can slide that on now, and we can feel where the key goes and put him on. Now I'll give that a little bit of a bump like I did earlier. You can hear that's bottomed out there, so that's good enough for us. Now, I think we were here before, weren't we? Put the lock tab on. Try and keep it in the Keyway. If this is a bit rough from crank starting or a bit bodged up, now's the time to have a quick look at that and just see. Then we find our spanner once more. Now this hasn't got to be super duper tight, it's just holding the front pulley on. I've still got the screwdriver in the back there and I don't really want to wreck that, but I'm just... Now, old mate John will be up me for hitting that with a spanner. Hitting that spanner with my hand. Okay, so look, that's tight, that's going to be fine. I'll just find one of the lock tabs and we'll fold him over. And lock him in. So that's not going anywhere. Now, that's the front timing cover part of the video finished, except for one little thing that I'd just like to cover now. And we adjusted it earlier, but you have this little screw down the side here. Now, there's a little spring, as you remember from the timing cover one, these two little rivets hold a little spring there, and when the governor, the mushroom comes out and it pushes against a little lever, well, there's a little backing spring there. And this lever, the lever inside that we wired in earlier, it comes back and sits against that backing spring. Now, when you read the book, it says, take this screw in until you feel resistance from that spring. But look, it's easier said than done. So look, what we can do now at this stage is we can just take that in, just ever so gently, and this lever's not moving. Now, see that just started to move there. Back him off, open him up, back him off, open him up. And the book says take it until you just feel the contact there. Well, that contact on this tractor is just there. Now, we may have to revisit this when we do the governor setup on this tractor, But what I've found over the years, because you have worn parts inside and wear on the arm and wear on the mushroom and wear on the weights and all that, I usually find that if we take this up a couple of turns, that allows for a little bit of wear. It pulls this lever back a little bit to where it probably should be. But look, in this instance, I'm not sure whether just to leave it like that, but I've had success in the past with taking it up a little bit. So I'll take it up half, 1.5 turns. So if we go back out, you can just see the little bit of movement there. So the movement starts just there. So it is hard to pick it up, but well, look, I've gone in about 1 to 1.5 turns from that position. Now, when we go to set the governor up, perhaps that's right. Perhaps we'll have picked the right spot, perhaps not, but it is easier to go now. But if we can remember that we're about 1.5 turns in from touching, if we need to come out again, there's no problem doing that. So that's it. That's the video, the end of the video for doing the timing and the timing cover and all that sort of thing. We'll move on to something else.